Hello boys, girls, non-binary people, demigender females, demigender males, and Therians, uh, and all other. And if I didn't realize a gender existed, if there was another gender that I didn't realize existed, let me know in the comments. But until then, here is Comrade. I'm Comrade Q here for some more Marx. Uh, Anarchist propaganda. And so in this video, because of the Trump inauguration and and some more stuff, my heart goes out to all you leftists who want to try, who who a lot of you might get disappeared in the next few years. But until that happens, until that happens, I have some advice for you. So firstly, don't submit to Trump. Fascism is the greatest evil of our time, and we must do anything to stop it. The best way to stop that is through organisation, particularly far left organisation, and revolution. The reasoning for me making that comment about American leftists getting disappeared is that two words: Project 2020. Project 2025. If you haven't heard of it, it's made by a bunch of people who thought that The Handmaid's Tale was a good idea. They want to ban teaching about gender identity and LGBTQ plus topics during different in school. They want to but the biggest one by far is that they want to give the President of America legal immunity. So to put it in short, if Trump tries to enact Project 2025, which he will, but I'll get into that later, he will essentially be dictator, and not even to mention Elon Musk shrinking the CIA, FBI, and police, which usually I'd be quite happy about, but he's obviously doing that for more power for him, and power is tyranny. So the best way to describe Donald Trump and Elon Musk's and Peter Thiel's ideology is ego fascism. So ego fascism is obvious, is, as you may guess, Max Stirner's ideas, which suck, and Adolf Hitler's ideas, which suck even more. Essentially, now I don't think I've actually heard anyone else use the term ego fascism, but essentially it will be someone who wants to take power of a fascist government and commit and do fascist policies for the purpose of their ego. Essentially, it's the outcome of egoism. Egoism, while claiming to be anarchist, is inherently authoritarian, because if someone is doing anything just to make themselves in a better position, that's going to come with power. Power is best achieved through a state and through centralization of power, and then pretty soon there are purges. So that makes it authoritarian, and since there are loads of right wing assholes and reactionaries, it's going to be achieved through fascism. So we need to spot fascism whenever we can. Fascism, fascism comes in the form of all types of restrictions of freedom, but it has evolved. Fascism begun as essentially the philosophy of submitting yourself to the state. Like Benito Mussolini thought was an ultra-nationalist, much like every fascist, because fascism is best described as ultra-nationalistic reactionaryism. They want complete they want a country to be completely like they want everyone to be completely submerged into their under their state, and want everything to come after the state, right? Like everything to become. Yeah, like they want the priorities of the state come before the priorities of everything else. So essentially, fascism is when the government does stuff. Yep, you're right. I forgot your name, even though you would be, because even though you were talking about when you were talking about socialism, but you are right. So, but now fascism has taken a libertarian stance, or more American fascism has. American fascism essentially says doesn't really care about the state taking all power, but it views the state taking all power as more as a something that is a form of how they can achieve fascism. So fascism their fascism is painted as a libertarian point of view. They want that the best way to describe it is, I want freedom, but only for me. It is also notable that Zionism is too a form of fascism, or very fucking close. Because an argument for Zionism is, every every religion has a country. If you're a Christian, you can go to the Vatican City. If you're a Buddhist, you can go to India or China. Well, maybe not China, because there is no freedom of religion under China. I remember the guy that said communism is when the government does stuff had the surname Wolf. Still though, but then they say Jews don't have a country aside from Israel, so they think that Israel should be predominantly Jewish. Now, please don't take this out of context, but it's basically like if I said, I want Britain to be predominantly white people. Yeah, only white people, mainly white people should be in Britain, because white people deserve a homeland for their people. How does that not sound fucking fascist? I would call it ethno-nationalist if they said it's only Jews in the Holy Land, which I always thought it was that. I may be wrong. I keep forgetting to research what most Zionists believe. But it's used as a justification for atrocities. So how the fuck is that not fascist? I shouldn't be I shouldn't be laughing at that. But anyway, but yeah, fascism takes many forms, and now fascism is just about cultural rightism. It's like the alt-right rabbit hole. I know people don't talk about that a lot, but it's very easy, and it's very well hidden. It can just be. It can even be painted as I don't want women to get assaulted in bathrooms. Therefore, I'm going to limit the freedoms of other women just because they are not cisgender. It's so stupid. Because firstly, using that logic, people who are lesbian shouldn't be allowed shouldn't be allowed in bathrooms. Don't take that out. Don't take that line out of context, please. And also, even though there are a few cases of that, you're taking the exception and pretending it's the rule. And I once had a conversation with someone that I'm just going to call Anon. So I called Anon a transphobe because they were, and he said and they said that they're not a transphobe. So I asked them if trans people should be allowed in bathrooms, like in bathrooms of their own gender, and they said no, and then they said no. So I said, see, transphobe, because how the hell is that not transphobic? Though but apparently, according to him, they still have penises, which, I mean, sometimes, yeah. But but also you're trying to limit the freedoms of trans people, simply because of exceptions. That is transphobic, obviously. But the alt-rights, people who are in the alt-right can still use stupid, dirty tricks to get their point across, such as Anon 2 said that it's just that they're just their beliefs. I pointed out that it's stupid to excuse someone's opinions because it's just their beliefs. Because what if someone was a Nazi? You shouldn't be excusing them for their beliefs, because that is a harmful belief. So it's wanting to limit the freedoms of trans people. And then Anon and then Anon 1 said just tried to pretend that I was using that and that as to try and compare to try and say that not allowing trans people into bathrooms was apparently I was trying to say that it's like genocide, which the outcome of that could still easily be genocide, because what's next after you do that? Like, no more, like you like they're not allowed to play in sports. They're not allowed now, or they try and legalize, they try and make trans gender reassignment surgery illegal. And eventually the final outcome of that is genocide. So my advice for American leftists is not to submit to this new fascist regime. You shouldn't you shouldn't keep quiet. You should fight to overthrow that government. Obviously, to some extent, you should once it gets overly authoritarian and totalitarian, it becomes too dangerous, and then you've essentially lost. But while it's starting, you need to start organising. also and an aspect of that is also to try and shut down all fascism whenever it pops up. All forms of fascism, transphobia, homophobia, racism, sexism, all kinds. As well as that, liberals are also a are also a danger to the leftists, like to the motive of leftism, as they increasingly begin to, like, as often they start to talk about, like, often they attempt to be, and like often, like, liberals and conservatives can start can start weaponizing minorities. So my advice, so part of my advice is definitely be woke and make Ben Shapiro say, like, just say, and make Ben Shapiro call you stupid. And like, or a stupid leftist liberal, etc. And the best out and the main and the best motive for change culturally, is, well, politically, a revolution. Like, it's like, because, like, in November they just did did their last election. That was probably their last election, like, they've ever done, like they'll ever do, because of Project 2025. So I've and when all hope is lost, when all hope is lost, you should attempt to your best course of action is to try and escape before it gets completely before America is completely isolated. But a civil war under Trump is inevitable. It's always, like, it's always has been it has been since the since Project 2025 was written. I mean, because if you're centralizing all power, like, in a country whose, like, that's entire belief system is based on is based on the motive of freedom and equality, though America has never been equal, then civil war or at least revolution is still inevitable. So there's always hope until people start disappearing. Well, long after. So yeah, rebel against the system, shut down fascism, and to then finally and have hope.